Hey YouTube, this is Dom. Today I'm gonna review a cheaper version of the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. And I have little to no information about who made this. There's no brand on it. It's just a cheap unbranded controller for whatever that happens to be compatible with the Switch. It looks exactly like the Smash edition of the Switch Pro controller, but except as a cheaper version, made to look like it. Here's the box that goes with it. You may notice there's no Nintendo logo anywhere, but but otherwise is compatible for the Switch. Why else would this controller exist, I guess? Shows the details on the back. Shows you everything you need to know. And the box says the battery on this thing lasts only 20 hours, which isn't much since if you play it for so long, it wouldn't last long. So the charging cable, I wouldn't recommend using it even if it did came with it. It's only 1.2 meters long, so it's not useful with this. I'll show you the cable later. Also comes with a user manual. I read the manual, but I don't know what I did with it. But if I had the manual, I would have been able to show you. I don't know where it is, unfortunately. But I'm sure you guys will get the idea. Anyway, speaking of which, let's look at the controller. Now, the biggest difference is that there's no Switch logo on here. And underneath, even underneath, it's got an indent. It's got an indent right here where the Nintendo logo would normally be is just an indent that's empty. Here's anyway, otherwise it functions the same. It's just a cheaper model. Anyway, it lights up like that, like usual, like any of the Pro controllers would. It's got the usual buttons, analog sticks, D-pad, home button, screenshot button, minus and plus control button, YBAX, trigger button, bumper button, and it's even got that same adapter on just like any other Switch Pro controller would have, that Type-C connector that corresponds with the USB cable that plugs into the console. It's got the sync button that I had a hard time syncing it at first, but I managed to get it to hook up on my Switch, so that way the Switch is used to it. Anyway, now I didn't take this out, but here's the small tiny cable for it. It's still wrapped up, still sealed, because it's too short for me to use with. It's too short for me to work with, so I pretty much didn't use it and used one of the cords I had on standby. You know what? I'll be right back. Here's the regular Switch Pro controller. Here's the difference between the regular Switch Pro controller, even though it's hard to see with so little light. Well, I'll film it over here. And here's the cheaper Smash Edition controller. You can see the difference. You can see a big difference as far as its skin is concerned, but Yeah, they're pretty much the same. Otherwise, works just fine. Overall, if you want a controller that lasts long, then I wouldn't recommend buying this. But if you don't mind, like, plugging it into your console until it gets a full charge, or leaving it on a charging station, then yeah. And if you don't want to pay an expensive price for it, but wanted something like this, but with a Smash logo, then get this. I got mine on eBay for 30 something dollars. Well, at least my dad, got it for me for that price. So if you're watching this, Dad, thank you. This video would have not existed without your support, Dad, if you're watching this. But yeah, subscribe. What else can I say? Yeah, it's pretty much the same, even though it's a cheaper version overall. But the specs, as far as the battery is concerned, is what makes the difference. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Like, comment. Oh, and if you know which company makes this controller, if you know who makes this controller, please let me know in the comments. And also hit the bell if you want to get notified of what videos is coming up. Click or tap on the bell to be notified of what videos is coming up. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. This is me, signing off.